Welcome to Butcher Block Horror Podcast, where we exhume horror movies from the past and cut into what makes them so delectable.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
Kane,
I am JD.
Oh, and I'm Joe.
You are Joe.
and today we're going to cover the trials and tribulations of the Potter family.
Harry Potter.
That's right, Harry Potter
Yep.
and Harry Potter Jr. In this possibly plagiarized, definitely puppeted 1986 Albert Band produced Troll. If you enjoy the taste of these feasts of fright, then give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also get those feel-good vibes by following us and giving us a review in your favorite podcast home. Or you could just cheat and go to WeGiveYouBrainworms.com. There you'll find links to our Patreon and our Funky Fresh Discord. You gonna be all right, Joe?
Yeah, it's just allergies.
Are you allergic to fun? Is that what's happened?
He's allergic to trolls and foliage.
I'm allergic to, yeah. I mean, if I were in that fairy troll land, my sinuses would probably explode.
They would just collapse.
Yeah.
And that was how Joe died.
The day that I fucking died. All right.
All right, let's have a conversation
I don't
about
care
Troll
to.
and all of the puppets. And
Trolly moly.
it was a very confused production.
It sure was.
Yeah, very confused, very aroused.
And then at one point, it just got sick of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The troll had very expressive eyes.
And a very expressive ass.
You know what? I wasn't able to, Anyway, Troll was released in the U.S. January 17th of 1986. I believe also released in Italy on the same day.
Yeah.
It's me, Torak the Troll.
That's true.
Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
Nice, that was a great game.
It's a great game.
On the,
Nintendo 64.
Yep, that was it. I knew I'd figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah, so anyway, Troll had a runtime of 82 minutes, roughly a budget of $1 million,
Roughly about 10 minutes too long.
a box office return of $5.5 million.
Yep.
Billed as a comedy horror movie,
It was not a comedy horror, though.
directed by
Yeah.
John Carl Buechler.
Where have I heard that name before?
Buechler.
Yeah, I guess the goopy puppet season yields many a John Carl Buechler related films.
Right.
The
Because
Charles,
of Charles
Band.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and speaking of the Band family, this film was also produced by Albert Band.
Co-written by Ed Naha. We'll go with that.
So yeah, we landed on the John Carl Buechler during the Ghoulies episode, as some may recall. Well, others may not, but anyhow, for those who may recall...
If you get blackout drunk and then listen to our show, then you'll have forgotten previous episodes.
That's true.
True.
It's kind of like how I forget that I've participated in certain episodes.
JD,
Yeah.
tell us more.
Like I said,
Tell
we
me
landed
more,
on
tell me more.
John Carl Buechler during the Ghoulies episode, and we discussed Buechler in regards to his background as a special effects artist. But here goes a brief refresher course on his role as a director of films, beginning with Dungeon Master of 1984. And we did see quite a few of the Buchmeister's posters in this film. They were on the walls.
It's true.
And so basically, if you did your homework and you watched this movie before listening to this episode, you already know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we don't need to drag you all the way through it again.
Which is impressive because we barely know what we're talking about.
Right. We don't want to drag you through that, but we want to drag you through every detail of the plot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Buchmeister also directed Troll of this, year, 1986.
The master of puppets.
Yeah, very master of puppets energy.
This feels like Battery, Joe.
For real. Troll was his second effort. Pretty well received, I'd say.
It's hated by Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's considered like a so bad it's good movie, which I didn't really feel.
I would agree if we were talking about Troll 2, but Troll... After watching this again, it's moved up my list. I have to say,
A lot of puppets.
the ghouly energy,
Yeah, juicy. Pretty moist puppets at parts.
boogery, gelatinous. I mean, these puppets all needed some fucking antihistamines like Zyrtec.
They were allergic to humans.
Yeah, they were allergic to something because every single one of the puppets had like a wad of boogers in their nostrils. So anyway, Buechler was also uncredited as one of the writers for Troll. He also directed Cellar Dweller of 1988, Ghoulies Go to College in 1991.
I so don't want to watch that movie.
I kind of do.
And boy, do I hope they get their student loans forgiven.
You're still on that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's never going to happen.
It's important to me. I want people who decide to, participate in education.
Right, I get that. For clarity, Buchler conceived of the story, and then Ed Naha wrote the script.
Oh, okay, awesome. I knew he had some role in the writing.
Yeah.
So this was put forth by Oof Boots on the Discord channel.
A supporter on Patreon as well, I believe.
Yeah. But the Ghoulies are just minions from the movie Despicable Me.
I guess I can see that.
Here,
yeah.
hold it out. They're supposed to bear allegiance to the most evil of the person.
Sure.
But instead of actually getting shit done, they just kind of goof around.
They just pull antics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only real difference is that the Ghoulies kind of kill.
They do kill. They do. They're
Right.
minions with lethality attached.
Murder minions.
There we
They
go.
have
Yeah,
looks
murder
that
minions sounds
kill.
good.
That's valid, yeah.
And so, the producer of Troll is Albert Band. He's the son of Max Band and father of renowned Charles Band.
And
And
Richard
the nephew of Ray Band.
And, the sunglasses.
Band. Dude, Richard Band, every time we watch a Charles Band movie, the music is so much better than the actual
Oh
film.
my god, I know.
Yeah. He's quite a score maker. Albert Band, French-American filmmaker, born in Paris, France, May 7th, 1924. Sadly, Albert left us at the age of 78 in 2002. Albert had a lengthy career spanning several decades, and we've mentioned him also a good bit here on the Butcher Block. We've had him laid down on the slab in a good way a number of times.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about the slab since we talk about carving things up.
So anyway, I'm just presenting a quick Albert Band for Dummies, like a little refresher course, because I know I've talked about him in the
Right.
past. So Band produced his first film titled The Young Guns in 1956. Not horror, clearly not horror. I Bury the Living in 1958, clearly horror. Mansion of the Doomed, 1976.
Doomed!
Yes, very doomed. And he was the executive producer on that. Dracula's Dog in 1978.
Do what now?
Troll in 86. Ghoulies 2 in 87. That movie sucks. The Pit and the Pendulum in 91. Also, Castle Freak, 1995.
Castle Freak is a goopy film.
Yeah, very goopy. And there were many others along his, list of work, but I just sort of, like I said, I
Yeah.
clipped anything I wasn't very familiar with.
Joe, would that be truncated?
It could be.
Okay.
I'm known to truncate lists. That's one of the things that I'm known for.
JD, I don't know if that's true.
It's probably not true. I
But
might
we've
just
been
be
getting
making up bullshit.
We've been getting better.
Anyway, on to the plot of
Yeah.
Troll.
Yeah, tell us about Troll.
We meet the Potter family, Harry Sr.,
Michael Moriarty.
yes, and then Anne,
Anne, played by Shelley Hack.
and then teen son Harry Jr., who was also Atreyu in the Neverending Story. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Noah Hathaway.
Yeah.
Yep, very cool.
Kind of had Will Wheaton energy.
He kind of did. Let's not forget Little Wendy.
Yep, that was played by Jenny Beck.
I thought you were going to say Lil Wayne, which would have been a very different film.
An insatiable craving for rat burger once possessed by a troll.
The works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this family's moving in the midst of unpacking all their shit. Wendy is confronted by a greasy, gooey, hairy, moist, gelatinous, evil little troll with a magical ring.
That would be Torok the Troll, played by Phil Fondacaro.
Anyway, he has a fiercely shitty disposition in his existence.
Yeah. and not even, he wasn't like destructive. He was just like a butthole. Like,
It's so true. It's so true. He's just
Yeah.
a dick.
He really, truly was a dick.
just a little asshole.
Just a shitty disposition.
Yeah. Just a gooey mass with appendages. And anyway, so he hijacks little Wendy and takes over her form and begins to act out. Then we start to meet some of the other tenants of this new building that they've moved into. Very curious people. They're really all up in your shit.
Similar to the hotel occupants in Basket Case.
We have our exercising Marine. We've got our
Played by Gary Sandy.
our bachelor, who's very creepy.
Played by Sonny Bono, no less.
Yep.
I feel like he added a little extra stank on the creep vibe.
Yeah, I feel like he took the role if he could just not have to use a script and just
Yeah. What's the scene about? Okay, cool. I got this. I don't need lines.
Man, if I could turn back time.
Were you about to do a Cher quote?
I did.
Okay.
He's got you.
Awesome. I always wondered if Life After Love was about Sonny. I could be wrong, but
How many other horror podcasts do you think reference
about
Metallica and Cher in the same 4-minute window?
Talking about it makes it worse. All right, just keep moving. Just keep moving along.
Okay. Just keep on trucking.
So basically, Wendy's acting like a shit. Her family's trying to dismiss her dickbag behavior and chalk it up to the new environment, basically. From there, our antagonist, the troll, begins his reign of terror, wreaking havoc from apartment to apartment, transforming tenants into, in most cases, rather sloppy, grotesque fairy tale creatures.
But one of them isn't. If you wanted to see a very blurry, quick shot of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's rear end, this is the movie.
Yeah, if that's very specifically something that since the 90s, man, I really want to see her ass, but just kind of for a minute.
And blurry.
Yeah.
Right. You almost don't recognize her at first as, I don't know, she's just so young in this
recognized her
film.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw her name in the credits, so
that
I
helps.
knew who she was.
So to make matters worse, the apartments become new worlds of lush forest and foliage.
The Feywild.
Yeah. Which seemed like an upgrade, because most of the decorating was pretty just, the late 80s.
It was mundane.
Especially Sonny Bono's apartment was just bad interior design.
Yeah, it was just laced with empty bottles of booze and penthouse magazines.
Yeah, and pornos. So becoming a portal to the Fey realm honestly seemed like a pretty significant upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah, definite upgrade.
Well, I mean, if we're going to be honest about it, which is what we do because we always tell the truth.
One of us always tells the truth. One of us always lies.
But turning humanity into the Fae, I think that would probably end the reign of destruction we've unleashed upon the world.
Oh, yeah. The world would be much better if the Fey realm took over.
So honestly, I think I'm Team Torok.
Yeah.
Team Torok. We need to make that as a t-shirt. That'd be great. Yeah, I'm with it. If y'all want to go that direction, I can go green. I mean, I feel like I've already started in several ways.
Yeah, see, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about summoning a troll to eradicate all of humankind except for one specimen, which will become the Fey princess.
Sure.
All right.
But that's not going to happen. So just fucking recycle.
Right.
Eat less meat.
Sure.
Bike instead of drive.
Right. Just drive a little less. Public transportation when you can. You know what else? I would say bring your own bag to the grocery store.
Yes, that's a big one. That's actually a giant one.
It doesn't hurt.
What I'm getting from this is that we need to make David run a game of Changeling for the Butcher Blockcast.
We'll get to that. But yes, that's what it does sound like.
That's what I'm hearing. Inspired by Troll.
So anyway, Harry Jr. takes exception to his sister's shitty behavior and ends up seeking the counsel of the elderly woman who reveals herself to be very witchy. Mm-hmm. And in this witchiness...
The witch is actually Eunice St. Clair, and it was played by June Lockhart. And real quick, Anne Lockhart plays another role in this, but we'll get to that later.
Well, she's also Eunice, but she's young Eunice.
Right.
We'll get there. So yeah, very, very witchy, and...
she was a witchy woman.
How many songs are we going to reference, Joe? How many?
All of them.
Anyway, they take a stroll down memory lane in her former witchiness, where she had a dude, long ago, a wizard lover, if you will.
By the name of Torok.
Torok, yes, who is now the troll. And he's the governing force of evil in this apartment building.
Evil!
Oh yeah, evil is his middle name. In a time long ago where the world was divided between these, goopy creatures and humans, we learn that this witch's lover like you said, he's Torok.
Yep.
And he was transformed into a total prick troll, as the one we know now.
Well, technically, he was a total prick to begin with.
Right. But I guess, they made the outside match the inside,
Exactly.
So Torok is all about destroying humanity to recreate the world he once knew. And, like we said, is that a bad thing? Apparently, Wendy is intended to be the catalyst of this worldly transformation, and she's kind of the princess to complete his evil deed, pull the shit he's trying to pull.
Yeah, like basically he's going to wipe out all of humanity except for her.
Right.
Which again seemed fine. I wasn't really concerned about that.
Eunice gives Harry Jr. a magical spear to murder the creepy creature with. She gives him some advice as to how to go about that, and
which is to stab the spear through the biggest, meanest creature's heart, and that will end the spell, and Torok the troll will start from scratch.
She's like, this is how you get respect prison style. You just take down the biggest dude in the bin, and no one will,
Yeah, seems legit.
Yeah. So anyway, Eunice and Torok do battle. It doesn't end well for Eunice. He turns her into a tree stump. Harry Jr. finds Wendy trapped in a glass coffin or whatever.
With like a red laser lid.
Yeah. I think maybe the implication was that the whole thing was like a magical force field situation.
Sure.
And then Harry Jr. had to go on a magical mystery tour to find everything.
Yeah.
Right. Harry Jr. frees her.
Perhaps it was a glass onion.
He gets her loose. Right. He unpeels the layers of the glass onion and dips them in breading and deep fries them, and then dunks them into ranch and then straight into his mouth.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Sorry, I'm hungry. I just described a bloomin' onion.
Did. It sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. It's all right. I'll eat later. Just remind myself I can make it.
What is this?
You wanted this.
Junior loses his handle of the spear, which is an ill-advised move.
Yeah.
On all accounts.
Yeah, so why did both... So the spear is the key, right? The spear...
It's the key to ending all bullshit.
From both young Eunice and Harry Potter, right? They both have spears. Harry Potter. They both have spears that they're supposed to jab into the thing's heart, right?
Yeah, they both
of them immediately lose them.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was the same spear. I thought she gave him the spear.
No, there were two different spears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Identical
she had a blue
spears?
one and he had a green one.
Oh, okay.
It shot out green light, hers shot out blue light.
Oh, the color-coded light again.
Unlike the trident in
Ghoulies.
Yeah.
The boar spear props were actually pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty solid.
Yeah.
It was real solid. The budget was like, here you go. You want a nice-looking spear? We got you. But yeah, so anyway, Harry, he's up Shit's Creek without a magical spear, and right as all this is about to... go out the fucking window, we learn that Torok isn't a total piece of shit after all, because...
Well, no, he is still.
Well, he is, but he has a soft spot for Wendy at least.
Well, I think because she was part of the plan.
She was part of the ritual.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. The only reason that he does what he does.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it was a little read unclearly, I guess.
Because that's the thing with fairies, is like you got to follow the rules,
Yep.
Yeah.
They have loads of power. It's terrifying power, but they have very strict rules.
Yeah.
And if they don't follow those, even worse things happen.
Yeah. There was some, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. This is a weird movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not for the faint of heart.
But it was very good. It was enjoyable.
I had fun.
And like I said, it went up my list a few
So
places.
what I would like to do is, because you just, you told the plot.
Well, I didn't actually. I didn't finish.
He's not done, Kenny. He hasn't
He
hasn't achieved completion.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're like at the climax.
Stop edging him.
Yeah, let me finish.
Would you like some marinara on your pasta?
So we get to this point where, Torok decides, whatever. He destroys himself and the crazy looking monster and the weird wild world of forest magic. And so right as the magical world begins to implode, Harry, June, and the fam, they take their shot to escape. And speaking of shots, people, you should get vaccinated.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's all work together to prevent your old pal JD from getting cock-blocked for another year by a virus. We're in agreement, right?
Yeah, and wear a mask.
Yeah.
Also wear a mask.
Yes, thank you.
And not just a regular cloth mask. Like, go ahead and fork out the extra dough and get an N95.
That's true.
Yeah, do it right, folks. Thank you. Anyway, right as the fam is about to escape and the magic world implodes, the Fuzz, the 5-0 shows up, and they get to business.
Fucking cops. They always ruin everything.
Yeah. They didn't really... They just kind of, which is also pretty
They
standard
just showed
cop
up.
behavior. They just showed up after everything ended and contributed nothing.
Yeah, because there wasn't a pet to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Their intention was to take a bite out of crime. Anyway, Eunice resumes her human form, even though I think it might have gotten her a ton of ass, being that she was a tree stump for a while. Did you like that joke? All right. Eunice and Harry have a moment, and then one of the cops wanders into the apartment or whatever. That's kind of what I figured happened from there, and also we discover that Turok is still alive, and he goes to activate his ring.
Mm-hmm. His Green Lantern ring.
Sorta.
Tries to defund the cop with his ring, and foreshadows a sequel, I presume.
Yeah.
Which is not very good, apparently.
Yeah, it
was supposed to be called Goblin. That's a whole other thing. We'll do an episode on movies that are sold as sequels but actually have nothing to do with the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do real quick, and this is just for my own personal joy, is I would like to start from the beginning and just go through, and this may actually fall in line, JD, with some of the special effects stuff, but I want to talk about each apartment real quick. Maybe not real quick, but however long it takes. I want to talk about each apartment because it's all set up as a
Take your time.
sequence.
I only have to edit this episode.
Joe, shut the front door.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. So as JD had previously stated, Wendy is now Turok.
Dinosaur hunter.
And is one... No, not that's Turok. This is Turok. Pay attention. The guy that played Turok that was running around changing people also played the professor, Malcolm Mallory, which took a weird toll at one point and became kind of heartfelt and deep.
Yeah, for like maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, it became a very different movie.
It did.
Where a child was learning about death from her friend.
Right.
And how it's not the end because you have memory. It was the whole thing, all right? But that's not what we're focused on.
Right.
What we're going to be focused on
A better script would have done something with that moment, but here we all are.
Look, we came here for gooey puppets, all right? And that's what we got.
We got them.
That's fair.
So the first change, the first person that gets converted to the Feywild is Sonny Bono's character, Peter Dickinson, right? And he had just had an encounter with a young lady he'd met at a bar, I'm assuming. And she dips, very unsatisfied, very grossed out. And Wendy just goes in there and sticks him with the Green Lantern ring. And he turns into like a plant turd. Does that seem like that's it?
Well, at first it looked like a turd, then it looked like a pod.
Yeah, the kind
Like
of
a seed.
chrysalide that they use to transform people into fey creatures were they looked like poos.
They definitely looked like poo. But here's the thing. Only one of the characters, or two of the characters looked like themselves a little bit afterwards. Everyone else, when they got stuck and exploded into the Feywild, just produced a gaggle of goblins, fairies, pixies, and gnomes, and all the other denizens of the Feywild.
Which was an upgrade.
Exactly. Yeah, Sonny Bono's character definitely didn't need to be around, and neither did Gary Sandy's character, the Marine Barry Tabor.
Yeah.
Like, there was elements that exist today, but it was like he was a caricature of a conservative, like, military person.
Right.
That is the actual existence of those people today.
Yeah.
They are not caricatures anymore. That's exactly... It felt very today,
Right.
I guess is what I was going to get
Which
at.
was weird for a movie set during the Reagan era, I feel.
I mean, it makes sense to make fun of Reaganites.
Right.
But then people actually turned into that guy.
Sure.
But yeah, so he gets his gun out and shoots Turok to no avail. Turok bends the gun. we didn't actually get to see what Barry was turned into.
No.
We really only got to focus that first time on Peter Dickinson or Sonny Bono. So who did the special effects in this? I want to know who to thank for the deliciously gooey elements of this movie.
Troll's special effects were pretty on point. We're looking at John Carl Buechler mostly. He basically created and designed the creatures, overseen their constructions, supervised things, was sort of had his hands in a bit of everything. A man with one head, yet many hats. He's really the guy who I
right.
kind of serve up. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, well, that does it.
I also want to call out Gail Simon, the set designer, because I feel like she did a lot of work as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a ton of work put into those sets.
Worked on a bunch of big movies throughout the 80s and 90s, like RoboCop and a couple of the Die Hards. But the sets were very designed.
They looked very cool.
They did.
Eunice's room, or her apartment, looked pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, honestly, there's not a lot else to say. We could go on about Julia Louis-Dreyfus running around with plants covering her naughty bits.
Right.
As a forest nymph.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody was aroused by that.
And then Malcolm Mallory or Phil Fondacaro being turned into an elf.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Which Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Phil Fondacaro were the only characters that kind of resembled their previous existence.
Right.
Like a lot of the other people, I think, just exploded into the Feywild.
Yeah.
And so there
Sure.
wasn't a specific thing that they came out as. They just came out as a group of fey creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, Dreyfus pretty much just
she was just herself, but
wrapped in leaves.
yeah.
But wrapped in leaves. But yeah, so we talked about the fact that Eunice St. Clair turns young at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When she reaches the height of her power.
The height of her power. Eunice St. Clair was played by June Lockhart, and the young Eunice St. Clair was played by Anne Lockhart, her daughter.
Although, and that's cool that that's how they handled that. I say she was at the height of her witchly power. Didn't do shit.
Nope. Mostly fell on her face. She blew that horn, and that was unsettling for the fey creatures for a bit.
Yeah.
But she almost just let her enemies know that they were coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's almost a bad idea at that point.
Yeah, she didn't give them...
You've taken the element of surprise from your favor.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we're done.
All right, well, let's go over
Goddamn.
personal experience with the film. Joe, you head us off.
Yeah, for sure. I remember seeing this movie in probably the early 90s when they would show it around Halloween time. And, I have some nostalgia for it. It kind of has a weird, and this is true, I think, about a lot of films from the 80s. It kind of has the energy of a kid's film, but there are moments in it that are not terribly child-friendly. The entire Sonny Bono character and his casual pornography.
And his creepiness.
Yeah, his creepy horniness. And so it kind of makes me wonder who this movie was for, to some extent.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Troll, in my experience, is kind of in the camp of oh, it's so bad it's good. It's a cheesy 80s movie. Watch it with your friends and laugh at it. Watching it just now, it just kind of felt competent.
Yeah.
It wasn't particularly bad. It had fun moments, but it wasn't great. I don't feel any real joy or excitement having watched it. It was fine. I don't know. It was good enough. The puppets were good.
The puppets were great.
The score was good.
The score is always good with Richard Band at the helm.
Yeah, he helmed the shit out of this.
He did.
All right.
Yeah, cinematography by Romano Albani. He worked on other Charles Band productions. It was all good enough. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
JD.
I had fun, though.
I had a lot of fun. Like I said, this was 100% one of the horror films that I had consumed at an early age alongside
Same.
my grandmother with a Tombstone pizza at hand.
Hell yeah.
And I have to say...
Did you
Troll
dip it in
has-
ranch dressing?
No. That wasn't a thing in at that time. Late 80s, I don't think people were dipping pizza in dressing.
Okay.
That came later.
I don't think you should do it now, but...
Yeah.
Dipping pizza into ranch dressing?
It's pretty gross, in my opinion.
It doesn't feel right. I feel like...
I mean, it's not as gross as putting pineapple on pizza.
I disagree, but this is not a pizza podcast as much as I'd like it to be.
Sure.
I think pineapple on pizza is good. What do you think, listeners? Get into the comment section.
All right. Well, I think this is the last episode of Butcher Block Horror Podcast, is what I think.
And we're moving to become a food podcast.
Yeah. We're going to have debates on the food that you eat while watching horror movies.
Yeah, could we be called like the Pie Taster Podcast or
Nope,
something like that?
we're still
No?
Butcher Block Horror
Okay.
Podcast. We're
All
just
right. I guess it's
actually
still
talking
kinda-
about food.
Right.
Feeds in flavors, all kinds of flavors.
Fuck, we're going off the rails. Stop it. All right,
listeners,
stop.
there are a lot of ways to contact us. We'll get into them at the end of the show. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to see you fight in the comment section.
Damn.
Wow.
You're like a hardcore singer. Like, you're just trying to like rebel rouse the mosh pit
Yeah, I'm trying
into,
to
like,
get the pit fired up.
destruction.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then you just dropped the mic and took off.
I'm sorry for causing that chain of events to happen. JD.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, so Troll has moved up my all-time favorite list. I can't say for certain how many places up it's moved, but I will say that I found it to be litty like a big old titty. Shout out to Daddy Longneck, represent.
What?
And
I don't know what any of those words meant.
Or what just happened.
chill, bros. I'm adding flavor to our podcast right now. Your boy JD's cooking some shit.
I don't know what's going on.
JD, did you use the drugs?
No. It's kind of like some stuff that only a handful of listeners will get, but it'll be funny to them, maybe.
That's fair.
We only have a handful of listeners. So how many in that number?
I have a feeling that the handful of listeners that we have may or may, well, I think they may appreciate the deep
the
cuts.
reference.
Yeah,
All right,
it's,
cool.
it's
All right.
fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I don't know.
I'm glad that happened. Is that the end of your personal experience with the movie? Did you have other comments
I have
to make?
some extras bits
Do it.
to
Let's do it.
address here. I want to point out that there was a painting in
Yes.
Eunice's apartment where one of the ghoulies was ever present in the background.
The toilet ghoulie.
Specifically, the toilet ghoulie was in that painting, and a lot of the forest creatures, the goblins, they resembled ghoulies strongly. In fact, I think it was maybe either the cat or bat ghoulie may have been sort of recycled into this film, possibly just changed or augmented in some way, or something modeled after it closely. But it wouldn't be surprising that, because of John Carl Buechler's, hand in the project, that maybe he just said, like, hey, we've got some of our extras from this other film. Let's kind of reincorporate.
Or because other better things wouldn't give them permission. So they just used in-house.
That makes sense because both of the film that Harry Potter Jr. is watching at
Harry
one point
Potter?
on his Harry Potter Jr. was watching on his little handheld black and white TV was a Charles Band movie.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought that the name Harry Potter reminded me of a Harry Pothead. I don't know what else to say, really.
What other personal experience you have with the movie, JD?
That was a wild fucking train to ride around on for a couple minutes. Holy shit.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Huh?
I'm just...
Are-
We're in this vortex right
Personal
now. I think,
experience with the movie, JD.
No, I remember.
Okay.
We're, yeah.
I believe in you.
I'm winding down. I'm
Okay.
Oh, it's like a
Yeah.
Pixies song. It's got it goes up and then it kind of gets quiet. You're doing a thing.
Yeah, it's like the middle of the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Sure.
Okay.
I got excited and now I'm kind of like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I feel like there were heavy use of bladder effects, and in particular with Sonny Bono, his character, he had hella bladder effects. His face was bulging between, in the sequence of his
During
transformation. His poopification, his potification, if you will. He really just transformed, and I loved the sequence from human to pod. Every element of that, and special effects wise, was like everything about 80s horror that I adore. And I will say this film was not particularly bloody. I don't recall seeing any blood whatsoever, but it didn't need it. what it lacked in blood, it made up for many, many times over in just a clear gelatinous slime. Everything in the film,
It was very
beyond
goopy.
most apartment doors, as they had, been transformed into the magic world, everything
mystery
just
tour.
was covered in fucking jizz, basically. It was so far out.
JD, if that's what your cum looks like.
No. But, yeah, so that concludes my impression of Troll. Let's go ahead and see what Kane thinks and feels.
Yeah, I'm always interested in Kane's emotions.
All right, so I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. We had the VHS, and so I would just put it on over and over and over again,
Sure.
like kids do with like Frozen.
Would you sleep with
or
it
shit
under
like
your
that.
pillow?
I did not.
Did you want the trolls to come and take you to the Fey realm?
No, that's not
Because
what
I kind of want that now.
I don't want to go to the Fey realm. I want the Fey realm to come to us.
That's fair.
But yeah, so I mean, I love this movie. I have a fond place for it in my heart. I get a feel good, nostalgic vibe from watching it.
Mhm.
But yeah, having rewatched it as an adult, I can honestly say that I really loved all of the puppets even more than I did as a kid.
Sure. Yeah, the puppets were terrific.
I took them for granted when I was a kid.
Possibly the best puppets we've seen so far.
Exactly. I feel like, man, these are solid, real
And we
solid.
see them a lot.
Yeah, a lot of
They get a
puppets.
lot of screen time.
Plentiful.
So yeah, I mean that's basically all I've got for it. I love this movie, and there's a specific scene at the beginning of the movie
Yes.
after Torok takes over Wendy's form, and they're having rat burgers,
Mhm.
and Torok, as Wendy, looks down at her rat burger, and it's like, oh, what is this? And everyone's like, oh, it's the works. And she's like, the works? And Mom's like, yeah, it's good for you, just eat it, which it wouldn't be. It was a burger covered in all of the condiments.
Yeah.
Well, I made the mistake as a child. I would probably eat it and enjoy it today, but when I was a kid, I ordered a burger with the works on it, and it was gross. Covered in everything.
Right.
Yeah, like the mayo and the lettuce turn into something
Yeah.
new.
So that's the main memory I have is the works. I would say that I avoided getting too many toppings on pizza or anything after my experience with asking for a burger with the works on it.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from Troll. Thank you for ruining my appetite for probably a couple of years.
Sure.
And your open-mindedness to, try
Toppings.
new flavors. Yeah,
Yep,
toppings.
yep. Yeah, that was stunted for a while. Not so much
Yeah.
anymore. Anymore, I'd eat the hell out of all of that.
Right.
But
Hell yeah.
Because it was probably just like a way too much sauce and then like onion and tomato and lettuce and pickle or something.
yeah.
And I feel like anytime you're mixing mustard, mayonnaise, and ketchup, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's too much moisture.
Yeah.
We're going off the rails again.
Yeah. Let's get away from food podcast and go back to. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. If you watch Troll, let us know what you think. You can find us anywhere that podcasts live. Please feel free to follow us and even give us a review.
Hell yeah.
You can also swing by. We give you brainworms.com, and there you can find our Patreon and Discord server link.
It certainly is a website.
It is definitely a website. And then for Joe's sake and Joe's sake alone, because he gets that little shot of dopamine,
Mhm.
even if you don't listen to us on YouTube, go to Brainworms Presents YouTube and just click subscribe and ring the bell,
Yeah.
because the little minuscule amount of joy that Joe gets every time he gets that notification.
I do get a little bit of happy juice in my brain.
Yep. It's just worth it to the rest of us.
Yeah.
But aside from that, thanks everyone
Oh,
for
and
listening.
click the bell.
Next week. Yeah, click the bell too. Whatever.
But next week,
And next week.
Yeah.
What happens next week, Kane?
Shut the fuck up. I want to check the list so that I know that I'm in the right place, all right?
You're a wizard of piss.
I am. I'm actually a piss clown. Yeah, so next week, we're going to be watching Child's Play. So most people have probably seen this movie. If you haven't, watch it before, because there will be more spoilers.
Yep, not as deep of a cut as some of the things we cover on this for sure.
That is true. All right, everyone have a good night.
Yep, thanks for
Or
listening.
good day or whenever. Thanks. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
I'm hitting the button.
au revoir. The gooey energy, boogery, gelatinous, greasy, gooey, hairy, moist, gelatinous, evil little troll.